Hi, it's Al here from DMR, and today I'm going to show you how to service your Vault, Midi and V11 pedals. Things to look out for so you know when to service your pedals are excessive play in the bearings. A tiny tick's okay, but if you're getting a lot of movement or you've seen that it's increased a lot over time, then that's a good time to service your pedals. If the bearings feel rough, they're not spinning nicely anymore, then again, you want to be getting the service kit out. If you catch it early, you're going to get maximum life and performance out of your pedals. The tools you're going to need are basically the same for all of these pedals. Just make sure that you've got the correct service kit, because the V11 service kit is slightly different to that of the Volts. Now let's run through all the tools you're going to need to service your pedals. The tools that you're going to need are a 6mm Allen key, an 8mm deep socket and driver, a torque wrench, a DMR Vault service tool, the correct service kit, some bearing retaining compound, such as this Loctite 638, some abrasive paper, some rags or cleaning cloth, and finally, some grease. Now that you've got your tools together, we can start to take your pedal apart. This is a left-hand pedal. We're removing the end cap. This is the same on all of the pedals. With that out of the way, you'll see that there's a nut inside, and that's what holds the axle onto the pedal body. Being a left-hand pedal, this has got a regular thread. If you're working on a right-hand pedal, it's very important to remember that that's got a left-hand thread. So to undo it, you'll be turning it clockwise rather than anti-clockwise. Undo the nut, and the axle should just pull from the body. If you did want to do a bit of preventative maintenance on your pedals and you didn't have a service kit and the pedals were feeling pretty good, then you could just take the axle out, clean everything up, give the axle a clean if it needs it, re-grease everything and put it back together. Obviously, once you remove the bush, it does need to be replaced, so don't do that as part of a cleanup. Next thing to do is to remove the bush from the pedal body. This is where you're going to need your Vault tool. Unscrew the end cap and you'll reveal the threads. And these screw into the bush itself. Bear in mind that once you've done this, the bush is going to be no good. It's quite hard to do this, so if you've got a vise, it makes it much easier. You can mount the tool using these flats here, and then you can use both hands to screw the pedal onto the threads. Once you've got it on a fairway, you can pull the bush out, like so. It comes out on the end of the tool. Next up, we're going to remove the bearing from the end of the pedal. You can use your 6mm Allen key just to push this out. There is a washer on the top if it didn't come out with the nut that you removed earlier. You should just be able to push that out with your Allen key, like so. There's your washer and your bearing. You don't need either of those things though, because they come in the service kit. With that removed, we're going to clean inside the pedal body. We're also going to clean the axle and remove the old seal. Just check the way that that's orientated, so you can see that the tapered end of the seal is nearest to the pedal thread. Before we fit our service kit, we're going to give everything a really good clean. With everything clean and taken apart, you can inspect the bearing surface of the axle. So you can see here, this pedal's pretty old. It's not been looked after a lot, and there is a little bit of corrosion on the surface there. We can clean that up though with a bit of abrasive paper. Use a very fine paper, and it's just enough to remove that corrosion and leave it nice and smooth. If you can feel pits or any other damage in the axle, then you're going to need to get new axles. But in most cases, even if you've left them a long time, you can clean off that corrosion and it'll be good to go again. First thing that we do is we take our fresh DU bush and we put it on the end of our service tool. You'll see that the DU bush has got a chamfered edge and a flat edge. It's that chamfered edge that wants to go into the pedal first. Before we fit this, we need a little bit of retaining compound. The retaining compound will help to stop the DU bush from moving. And we just push it into the pedal body. Make sure it goes all the way down until it stops. Now with everything clean and the DU bush fitted, we're going to put the rest of the pedal back together. So you take your axle and your seal, and we're sliding the seal onto the axle. Make sure, as we said earlier, that that tapered part of the seal is nearest to the pedal threads. We're going to grease the axle. So a nice bit of decent grease where the bush is going to sit there. A little bit up the axle and a little bit where the bearing is going to sit as well. Once that's greased, we're going to fit that into the pedal. With the axle in place, we're going to drop the cartridge bearing into the pedal body. Bit of grease on that. Then we add our washer, like so, and then the nut. Make sure you get the right nut from your kit. It's left-hand pedal, regular thread, and it's the black nut, not the silver nut in the Vault kit. And start to screw that on. Once you're sure that that's on, take your 6mm Allen key and your torque wrench set to 10 Newton meters and tighten that down. That secures the axle, and then we're going to fit our end cap. When you fit the end cap, it's always a good idea to add a bit of grease to the threads. And once it's fully screwed in and tightened, just need to push the seal into place, and that's it. So once you've repeated for your other pedal, that's it, you're all done and ready to ride. If you've got any questions, hit us up at info@dmrbikes.com, and there's loads of information on the website as well. That's dmrbikes.com. We hope to see you next time. Cheers, see ya.